Hi everybody, I'm Nick Byrnes. I did my salesperson interview on Garrett LeGrand. Garrett is a sales rep for Stryker Three Rivers, which is a distributor for Stryker. They focus on joint replacements, trauma, as well as extremity surgeries, orthopedic type surgeries. Garrett's territory is Parkersburg, Charleston, Huntington, and then in Ohio, Athens through Gallipolis. So he's got the Southeast Ohio and then West Virginia territory for Stryker Three Rivers. He went to Marietta College where he graduated with a kinesiology major, which is pretty important for medical sales. You don't have to be necessarily a business major to get into it because a lot of it has to do with knowing the body, knowing anatomy, and stuff like that. So he actually started his career as a GNC sales rep. He wanted to get into athletic training out of college, but couldn't find something that fit his needs and his interests. So he went to work for GNC and then found out he had a passion for sales. So then Stryker came about, and then he landed that job and has loved it ever since. So moving on with the sales process, it's different than most B2B sales. You don't necessarily talk to a CEO all the time. There's GPOs, which is a group purchasing organization, which is led by a CEO. And they buy for a large range of hospitals in the area to get a good deal, and then the physicians use that. But also you do sell to the individual doctors, which is kind of tough because they're not into the office all the time. They're either meeting with patients or in surgery, so it's kind of hard to make that contact. Which what Garrett said was the most difficult part of the job. But a lot of times you have to slide through their office, maybe drop off like a PowerPoint or a video through a flash drive to their nurses, and then have them relay the information over to the doctor. Or maybe when you're in the hallway in the hospital, you see a doctor, just have a couple minutes of his time and pitch your product. So it's a little bit unorthodox sales process, but it's kind of exciting just because it's high pressure and you're saving lives and getting people back on their feet. A lot of times maybe you might have to bring lunch to the nurses or stop in, bring donuts. Reach out on LinkedIn because doctors are starting to get on LinkedIn now, so it's different, but it's pretty cool. He said his favorite part of the job was having impact on others. You're not necessarily doing the surgery, but a lot of times you're also pitching the product, but also pitching the right product that is the most effective to the doctor. So you have a huge impact on getting people back on their feet, getting them back to doing what they love. So that's the best part of the job for Garrett. A little advice that he had for me was continue to reach out on LinkedIn. Super hard to get your foot in the door right out of college, just because you need experience with like the sales process, but also like I mentioned before, like the anatomy and stuff like that. So it's just important to get experience and build that relationship with the hiring managers. Another big thing is grit. You're gonna fail a lot, and just being able to have confidence to move forward after a failure is huge in the industry. And then finally, he recommended that I start to develop a understanding for anatomy. So just being able to understand the different parts of the body, as well as like the terms that they use in the medical industry is huge for landing that first job, especially as a graduating college student. And then being driven, just being relentless and attacking your goals. They are very competitive people in the industry, so it's kind of cutthroat, but just being able to be driven and move on past failures is important. In conclusion, what I learned it's difficult to get your foot in the door right away out of college, so it's important that I reach out to people and build a relationship with various companies just in case something falls through. And then a sales process is very unorthodox. Like I mentioned, you might have to stop in, bring donuts, bring lunch to nurses, maybe connect on LinkedIn or shoot them a PowerPoint slide with the product and how it can affect their patients in a positive manner. And then finally, it's important to continue learning the product as well as network and just build your relationships with others and learn that product line that they have. So that's what I learned from this.